Hey everybody, we're the Splinter Twins. I'm Mark, that's Kyle, and we are so hyped for this set. It is, it's so good, Kyle. Little animals. We are Redwall nerds, and we are not apologizing for it. I love those books. I love them a lot, and I love this set because it's hitting me in all the erogenous zones, and we're going to talk about why we love this set with our top five cards.
Animals is what that's about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a furry. No, it's because I've got the pyramid of everything I like. I've got bombs that are going to impact standard, right? I've got some real fun jank to brew around. That's mostly what we're going to talk about here today. And then we've also got some tribal nonsense where I can have fun and limited, and I can play with my bats and my rats and my cats and whatever, and just have a good old time.
Oh my.
Oh, I love it.
Like Mark said, last video, that was the top 5 best. We were getting our sweat on. Now we're just talking about the 5 cards each that we just can't wait to play with. And my number 5 card is Rottenmouth Viper. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good.
Card is so good. 5 and a black. It's an elemental snake. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of non-land permanents. This spell costs 1 less for each permanent you sacrifice this way, and whenever it enters, you put a blight counter on it. What's that do? Then for each blight counter on it, each opponent loses 4 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. Note, that is for ETB and when this big old snaky snake attacks. Ooh! Ooh!
I love this card.
So fun.
It's so fun. It's a fun card. And you know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of Turgid. Do you remember Turgid?
Yeah.
Where you're like, I just want to live the dream. Just let me do it.
Shut up and let me do it.
I just want to just get those blight counters cooking. I mean, we have Proliferate, right? So maybe there's a way to actually make this happen.
I was going to make that note.
You know what kills this card, though?
What?
It's giving them the choice. Being able to sack a thing or discard a thing is kind of like letting them have too much agency to actually make this a good card. Like,
I don't know, man.
How long is it going to take to hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really... It's good value.
If this thing attacks twice, like, what are you going to do? Take 8? Like, you're not doing that.
No, it's not going to feel good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, we're really heavy into the game, and so, like, the fact that I haven't drawn, like, my removal or my sweeper or an answer or anything, I'm probably dead anyway. Like, it's definitely kind of a win more situation. You're attacking with your 7-drop or whatever.
It's a 6-drop.
What discount do you need for this to be like you feel good about it?
Oh, I think you could get this thing down on turn 4 pretty reliably if you build around it.
Yeah, but like how much? Like, I don't want to sack good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so, like,
I think you're going to be able to sack stuff for value. There's going to be like dice triggers. Like Illis is still around. Like there's some sneaky like aristocratic stuff you can do with this card, and I don't give a shit. It's just super fun.
It's a big snake, and
it's a big old evil snake.
Now, Kyle, one of the strategies I loved the most in Standard is Mono Red Burn. And sometimes I think to myself, do I play Thermo Alchemist or do I play Kessig Flamebreaker? The choice is Kessig Flamebreaker because it's a better card. But what if I could have 2 for the price of 1?
Make a baby.
A cute old little otter. Corsication Mage, I'm pretty sure, it's that card. It's incredible. It's so fun because you're going to be able to get the pings a-poppin', because if you have 4 mana, you're going to get 2 triggers on 2 different otters. Having 2 toughness is not the best because there's a lot of removal that can just kill this guy, but hey, they were going to do that anyway, right? I love the fact that you can make this your 2-drop or your 4-drop, and just really, you need to, for these decks to function, you got to come down on the creatures, and you got to be able to maximize your triggers. And that's what this card is doing. I think it's the best version of this card we've ever seen, and I love it. We're going to put it with Axonel, O'Hare, or whatever. We're going to go off. We're going to pop people in the face with lightning strikes, and it's going to be a fun time.
It's going to have to be better, because God knows Thermo and Kessig Flamebreaker were not good enough.
No, they weren't good enough, like, to be competitive at Standard, but, like, they weren't embarrassing decks.
No.
Like, especially when Axonel got in the format, and, like, you could just do stuff. Like, they were viable decks. Like, you win games with those decks.
They weren't,
and
like,
there's a lot of... No, they weren't like, you're not going to embarrass yourself. Like, you could show up to Friday Night Magic with that and not get laughed out of the room. And there's a lot of cool spell stuff happening in this, specifically that makes me like, that deck that we just talked about, it was always mono red, maybe Boros, right? Maybe black if you're feeling frisky. It very rarely was spells. It was very rarely red-blue. It just wasn't happening. But I think there's some spell stuff happening, like specifically looking at a partner card here, Byway Barterer. Little card draw happening to support it, maybe? You know, little get that blue dream of that card draw going. I'm happy to play otter spells. I want to see what happens. And not like otter spells, but just, you know, spells with otters.
Hey, Mark, what's funnier than sweeping your opponent's board?
Sweeping the board and then reanimating your best creature.
Yeah, you got it, bud. So that is Starfall Invocation. 3, a white and a white sorcery. Gift a card, so you can gift a card to your opponent. If you gift them the card, they get to draw a card, and then you destroy all creatures. But if you gift them a card, you get to return a card from the graveyard that was put into the battlefield, or put into the graveyard onto the battlefield that this card killed, which is stupid. It is so salt-inducing. It is hilarious.
When you give them the gift, you just take the top card of the library and you throw it at them. And
you just
you
fold it up and put it in their mouth. Like, have a basic land.
I will remind you that you said this card was fun. Every time it happens to you, I go, Kyle, that's fun. You said you would like it.
Let me be clear. It's funny and it's fun when I do it. When somebody else does it, they are a cheating piece of crap. But
this card is cracked in half. And if there wasn't Sunfall in Standard, take a drink, you too late, joke's on you, you died of alcohol poisoning, then this card would be amazing. Compare this to Depopulate. Like, yes, I think I'll pay an extra mana for that. I'll play both in my, control
and give
deck.
them a card, which is not nothing.
Control.
But like,
you can't really play this. That was one of the things I said control, but I oopsied. Because this doesn't go into Azorius control. This has to go into a very specific kind of deck where you have stuff worth reanimating. And, we can enable that. Like, I love
Dust
the idea
Animus!
Of, Dust Animus. You go oopsie doopsie, I blow everything up. How you like that, mono red? Now I've got my best creature back, and you've got
And now I've got 5 lands on the table, so my Dust Animus is a 4/5 lifelinker. Eat shit.
I love this card. Like, it's good. And I don't want there to be competition for Sunfall, because that's a world where I guess nobody gets to play Magic. But man, this looks like it should be able to give them a run for their money over there. My number 4 card, and this is important to me, Kyle, because as a clone, I feel a sympathy towards clones. And I want our people to be represented. Bad. Mockingbird is...
no, okay. I thought you were saying Kidnap. Okay, yeah. Mockingbird
No.
This card is
Mockingbird
awesome.
is dumb. It's a dumb card.
It's broken.
For whatever you paid, I'll have some of that. And I'll give up flying, because screw you. That's what's happening. This is, I think, the best clone effect we've ever seen. Yep. I don't think that's controversial. It's a equal cost plus flying.
You might be in your mind thinking it's X. It's not X. It's, you get to count the blue pip too.
Yeah. Silly. 4 for your Shieldred, 4 for my Shieldred.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and mine has flying.
It has flying too, so get wrecked. Yeah, this card is... I love it because I think it's a card that you can put into different decks that are going to be really fun, but I just am celebrating the future Jank Lord stuff that this is going to enable.
My number 3 is betting, and I'm betting on bunnies, and that is Caretaker's Talent. This is a class, and it's 2 and a white, and whenever you cast this, whenever a token, or whenever you put this on the battlefield, from now on, whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, you get to draw a card. So, a welcoming vampire kind of effect, but for tokens only.
Ish.
And then, for 1 white mana, then you can create a copy of a token that's on the battlefield under your control. And then, for 3 and a white, you can, super anthem all of your tokens for +2/+2. Look, this card's not good. There's no way this card is going to be good.
It's everything Rabbids wants to do.
But if it is, that means I am swarming people to death with bunny tokens, which is what I want to be playing in Magic.
You got Regal Bunnycorn,
dude. There's
live your dream.
There, we were talking about this earlier. Is like the bunny strategy of populating and making a bunch of bunny tokens is just probably going to give your opponent a 1919 incubate token, but holy shit, is it funny to me like that you could do this. The only thing that holds this back is you can't do it at instant speed, so you got to pre-pump combat on the last mode. But man, drawing a card is pretty sick. Making a copy of another token is pretty sick. Note that also triggers the first mode if you're able to do it. If this card is good, I am a happy camper in Standard.
You might have noticed I remained very quiet and was unwilling to give you crap for your rabbits because I'm playing frogs, baby! And absolutely no one can stop me. Mistbreath Elder is so fun. Again, pretty good 1-drop. You must do the bouncing, but hey, frogs be hopping, Kyle. Frogs be bouncing.
That's true.
I want that value, and I'm going to get this boy big in the process. Like, it is 1 green mana for a 2/2. Like, and it gets bigger. And I was wanting to do the bouncing stuff anyway. You have to enable this card to make it good, but like that's what frogs are here to do. I'm gonna start drawing cards. I'm gonna be laughing. I'm gonna be having fun. I know frogs probably aren't gonna be good, but I'm a sucker for Simic, and this silly idea, me like bouncing my own cards. I think this is gonna not be good for the same reasons ninjas aren't traditionally gonna actually be standard viable. It's because it's really painful in this modern environment to come down on board presence for future value. But man, I just want to live that dream, Kyle. I just want to play frogs. I just want to be happy.
Hippity hoppity, you are now my property. Don't be fooled by my number 2 card. It is a fun card, but it's also a very good card, and it is Season of Loss. It is 3 black. It's part of the season cycle, and you can choose up to 5 little paws of modes, and you may choose the same mode more than once. So you get 5 when you cast this. You get 5 picks. For 1 paw, each player sacrifices a creature. For 2 paws, draw a card for each creature that you control that died this turn, and then 3 paws, which is the fun one. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So not only is this like a de facto sweeper, you could just be like, I pick it 5 times, and like unless they have 6 creatures, this is a total board wipe. But you can also draw cards off of this. You could pick it 3 times and then draw cards, and you're sacking 3 creatures and you're drawing 3 cards and they're just sacking 3. Or, you could just use this to kill your opponent because you've been milling yourself. Descent is a thing. Died. And they're just like, yeah, take 12.
Yeah. Forage, like there's really powerful self-mill in standard right now.
The reason why I was like, this is kind of Invoke Despair, isn't it? Is this card's probably pretty good. This card's probably pretty good.
It doesn't have the card draw. It doesn't do it all. Invoke Despair did it all. I think this card is pretty good. I think that there's a lot of fun to be had here, and I like the design on the burrows. Like, I know people were kind of giving the Paul Prince crap, but I love they're taking the modality to the next level. It's like the mix and match, build your own Magic card, and I really like it because I think it's clean. I think it's really straightforward, easy to understand, and the flexibility is really nice here. Just being like, sack those 2 boys and pop you in the mouth for 6, right? Like, or just, whatever. I think Season of the Burrow, the white version of this, is pretty good. The other ones don't look as good, or at least are not as obviously as good, but I like this card. I think it's really fun. I don't think there's a chance in hell we're going to play it in a competitive deck because there's like Cruelty of Gix and other crazy 5-drops. Gix's Command, right? Like, there's lots of black 5-drops.
I think this card might, like, the more I read it, I'm pretty sure this card is going to be very good. Like, you sound
maybe.
like it's what you were saying sounds like what people were saying when they printed Invoke Despair. Like, oh, it's 4
I don't
black
know
pips.
anybody that. Luckily, we didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, but I don't know how anybody could ever look at Invoke Despair and not be like, "Oh no, they meant to say I lose 2 life, but instead they said you lose 2 life. That's a misprint. Everyone's going to be sad forever." They meant to invoke despair in the population of Magic players. Regardless, I do think this is a very good card. The problem is it has to compete with other cards. And so it's one of those things where, kind of like Aclazotz, where it's like you can look at it and it's objectively a cracked in half Magic card. Like, it's amazing. It just has to be more amazing than those other cards that are already seeing play and stay amazing, right? Compared to all the crazy stuff, because there's 5 million cards in Standard. So it's like, I don't think it's going to hit that threshold, but it is objectively a very fun Magic card. You know what else is fun, Kyle?
What?
When I'm playing Magic and you are not playing Magic because I took all your goddamn cards away. Hey, you have no cards no more. I have cards. You have no cards. Because I'm a bandit, Kyle. I'm a bad bandit.
You're a little ratty bandit.
I'm a little sassy, batty bandit. I love this card. And this card is cost to compete. Like, this is a real Magic card. The fact that you upgrade this to level 2 for just 1 black pip makes it real. I think this is on
my top 5 short list. This card's good.
I mentioned Aclazotz. We have Lily sticking around, Lily the Veil sticking around. Like, there's some stuff we can do.
Is that card sticking around?
Liliana, yeah.
What's that? Was
that's
in?
Dominaria.
That was Dominaria? Really?
Pretty sure. Google it.
All right.
It is bad. It's a bad thing that's going to happen to people when they start discarding, because discarding cards is already good, but the fact that you are going to suffer life loss whenever this card comes out, not only is like you're down a card, you're down life, and upgrading it's cheap. This comes in multiples, and you're really going to hit life. We don't even need to get to level 3 for this card to really wreck. But when you do get to those, oh, I've got all the cards, you've got no cards, and you're in top deck mode, and I've got, or like, God forbid, I get in my own top deck mode, which as a Turgid fan, I have done that before. I've got card draw on level 3, so like, let's go. I can survive and you cannot. I think this card is good, and I think this card's fun. If it's really good, it's gonna suck for everybody, but hopefully it's just good enough to keep me entertained. I love it.
Okay, so for my number 1 card, I picked the dumbest possible card. The card
No, I picked the dumbest card.
The card that is just like, hey, would you like to see some random shit happen? And that is why.
Oh wait.
That is why my number
pick the
1
same
card
card.
is the infamous Cruel Claw.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No. That's okay.
It's
That's good.
1, a black and a red menace for a legendary creature, Weasel Mercenary. So can't shoot the sheriff here. Menace. Whenever it does combat damage to a player, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, and then you just cast it by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. So just discard a basic land and pop a fucking Atraxa down on the table.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
I know. It's just there's no way this card
fun.
Maybe
just fun.
Maybe an older format you could like brainstorm or whatever. Look, man, I don't give a shit. Maybe I'll build in some scry shenanigans or whatever. I just want to spin that wheel. I just want to live that life. So let's go.
Card, maybe in like a Rakdos Reanimator, this card could live because you're just putting bombs in there that you're like, I don't intend to play this Atraxa for fairsies. I'm going to Cruelty of Gix it, and maybe I'll get lucky and I'll just weasel you in the mouth in the meantime.
It's so
Menace
weaselly. It's so weaselly.
It's very weaselly. Menace is not, I think, enough to get it in by turn 3. Like, actually by turn 4 at the earliest, they're going to have 2 cards that can block it.
Yeah, but they have to kill this card. They have to.
Yes, it's going to eat removal. I mean, everyone's packing single target removal anyway. But hey, they're using it on your 3-drop, so they don't have it for the thing you reanimate with Cruelty of Gix or whatever other reanimator shenanigans you're pulling here. I think this card is so much fun. Like, it's so much fun to be able to do this card. The art's pretty cool too for what that's worth. I love the fact that it's like, what's gonna happen? You can't miss, right? They've engineered it to where they didn't say top 5 and chicken out and say top 3 or whatever. They said non-land. Keep flipping. We're playing Russian roulette till something fires. Like, this is happening, and I like this card.
Yeah, it's Rush Roulette, but I get to shoot at my opponent 6 times.
Now you, sir, thought you picked the dumbest card. But no, there is an even dumber card. There's an even dumber card.
Sir, I see you
that
are
says,
clearly the dumbest.
You want to play 1 card for free. I want to play all the cards for free. I give you Luge, the Shoreless Sea. Oh, he a big fish, Kyle.
Oh
he a
my
big
God.
bad fish.
This
card is good. They should have given an island
No,
lock,
it's
you
not.
cowards.
This card is not good.
No, here's why. Here's why it's good, Kyle. Here's why it's a good card. The flood counters. We're gonna get flood counters. The fact we've seen this is not a
you
Goblin
are
Electromancer.
Merfolk simp. That's what you are. You just want to make everything an
I don't-
island.
No, I do want to do that. That'd be fun. The fact that this has -1 blue pip is incredible, right? We are not talking about like a discount. We're talking about freezies. We're going to do freezies. Here's what I want for this deck. I don't want to play Haughty Djinn. I want to play this. I want to play big mono blue. Holy shit, I'm casting all the spells for free. This is not a good deck. This is a fun deck. Being able to put my big fish in there, I'm just slinging blue spell after blue spell.
How
Here
many
we go
blue
all
cantrips
day.
are there? I bet you we could find some.
There's
where
tons.
they just draw
There's
cards.
so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. And they're low costed. There's an incredible bounce spell, by the way, in this. Maybe the best bounce spell we've ever seen. It's unsummoned, but just kidding, it can bounce anything if you give them a gift. It's called, like, I don't know, Hoppity Hop or whatever. I'll put it up here on the screen here. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing in. We're doing all kinds of fun stuff with this. It's going to be so much fun. Also, we got a new... we didn't need a new Tolarian Terror, but I think Eddie Merc Crab maybe is better than Tolarian Terror because it can give you that tempo swing with the tap downs. Kyle, I'm building Big Blue, and absolutely nobody can stop me.
This card is sick. I'll give you that. And look at, just can we take a second? Just in general, the artwork for this set, but specifically
Yes.
on the Shoreless Sea. This artwork is so good.
It's evocative. I don't want to be a little squirrel in a little boat, and a big old barracuda comes and eats me up.
Yeah, it's like it's just,
yes.
and then the glow of the eye. It's just so
it's
terrifying.
Scary. I don't like how scary
Just
it is.
like- and the
Kyle.
fact
art
that-
design.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the art design
It's
for
a
this set.
fun card. It's just a fun card.
It-
Let me live that dream. You know what it reminds me of? We kind of did a little bookend here. It is my Rotten Mouth Viper or whatever, right? Like, I'm going to put the counters on, and I got to attack to make this happen, but like we're going to do it. It's going to be fine. And then value, right? Just you shut up. I'm going to get the value. I'm going to live in this Christmas land, and it's going to be lovely. And that's how I like to have fun.
All right, everybody.
Damn, this card's expensive.
How much is it?
It's like $28.
Yeah, this card is like, or this set's like Commander Stack City. Well, let us know what you think, everybody. I got to go pretty soon because my wife wanted to make s'mores, and it's like 105 degrees in Las Vegas. So
you don't even need to light a fire.
I know. She might be dying outside right now for all I know. But what are your cards that you're looking forward to? This is my favorite. Like I really love the accountability and the spikiness of the other video, but the most fun video is because I'm a brewer. You're a brewer. We want to make fun decks for the channel.
We originally named this channel Magic is Fun. Like, this is the whole point. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah, and all these cards are so fun. And I can't wait to try to brew jank piles around them. And it's not only is it a new set, that's awesome, but like we are finally hitting rotation, and some shit just needs to get out. And I'm excited about that. You know what's not going to get Wandering Emperor? The Shoreless Sea.
No, it won't. It won't happen, Kyle. I promise. If someone tries to do it in Commander, I'll rip their card up. I will not see it. I love this. Let us know what we missed. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to play, and we will see you guys in August.